if you go to the 2-minute, 6-second mark of this particular video on Boxing Social's YouTube channel, you'll hear Deontay Wilder say, and I quote, "It makes it exciting and we probably sold 200 more tickets." End quote. That is exactly what Deontay Wilder said verbatim, word for word. It makes it exciting and we probably sold 200 more tickets. What is he talking about? He's talking about this, I wouldn't even call it a shoving match, which took place at the final press conference today. It wasn't a shoving match because hardly anyone got shoved. The most animated person in all of it seemed to be Shane Fury, Tyson's brother. Tyson wasn't upset at all. He was perfectly happy and jovial. And to be honest with you, I don't think Deontay Wilder was upset. I don't think Deontay Wilder was genuinely triggered. I think at their kickoff press conference, Wilder looked more genuinely agitated. But here today, Wilder did not look really agitated to me. He was hyping up and he was shouting, but he didn't look like he was out of control to me at all. That's my honest assessment. I think that the ticket sales for this fight and probably the pay-per-view sales have been struggling badly. I hope I'm wrong about the pay-per-view. Maybe in America it's more of a pay-per-view market than a live gate market. Let's hope so. I want this fight to get maximum exposure. But ticket sales for the gate, for the arena, are not doing very well. Some reports are saying as little as 7,000. Some reports are saying 9,000 tickets sold. We'll see if they can shift the bulk of them in the next couple of days, or at least some of the rest of them in the next couple of days. Ticket sales not going well. And what did Wilder say? We probably sold 200 more tickets. Now, he might be being sarcastic, but a lot of truth is said in jest. So 200 more tickets, maybe 1,000 more tickets. No, in fact, maybe he's not being sarcastic. Maybe he knows how slowly the ticket sales are going, and that was a Freudian slip. And he actually knows that something like that might sell 200 more tickets. And they've actually been giving away tickets. They gave away a bunch of tickets to the fire department in Los Angeles. And that's a great thing, you know, promoting the fire service and all that. Essential. You know, without the fire service, a lot of people would be dying. A lot of people's homes and businesses, etc., would be destroyed without the fire service. And they do a lot more than that too. So it's great to promote the fire service. I'm all for that and I back that 100%. But would they be doing this if it wasn't for the poor ticket sales? Maybe they would. Stuff like this has always been done by heavyweight champions. So perhaps they would, but giving away all the free tickets on top of doing a photo op with the fire service, I don't know, man. I mean, the photo op, okay, with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury in the firefighter uniform, that is normal in terms of promotion. But giving away all the tickets to the fire service, is that normal? No, it's not. Would you see a Floyd Mayweather fight, for example, in Vegas, where they're giving away hundreds of tickets to the fire service? You wouldn't see that because tickets are at a premium. I mean, I'm sure there have been some Mayweather fights where they do give away tickets, but for one of his big fights, because this is supposed to be a big fight in the heavyweight division, right? It's supposed to be two champions, one with a belt, the other uncrowned, the so-called lineal. It's supposed to be a big fight. But yeah, they're giving away tickets on fight week because it's just not selling. It is disappointing. And this right here smacks of publicity stunt to me. And I'm not one to jump to that conclusion. Those of you who have been following me on YouTube for any length of time will know that usually when people are saying something is staged, I tend to disagree. I tend to say, no, I don't think this was staged. But in this particular instance, I'm not saying that they planned to do this beforehand necessarily, but there was an understanding between the fighters and between the two camps. We need to sell more tickets. Let's do something. That's my opinion. While they were up there, I think there was an understanding. They know that the arena is going to be half empty. They all know this. And they all know the more pay-per-views it sells, the more both fighters are going to make. So why wouldn't they try and do something to attract more pay-per-view revenue, to sell more tickets? Why wouldn't they? That's a question you have to ask yourself. So for those of you who are skeptical and don't think it was staged or don't think it was theatrics, why wouldn't they pull off some theatrics at this point when ticket sales are going so slowly? Those are the questions you guys have to ask yourselves. So some people said to me, Wilder looks rattled and all this kind of stuff. No, I don't think he does look rattled. I actually think he looks very calm. Fight week, I think Tyson Fury looks very calm. And this should hopefully produce a good fight because both guys are very calm and very confident. Now, there's a line from a Clint Eastwood movie. I always forget which movie it is. It might be A Fistful of Dollars, or I can't remember which movie now. But the line goes, it's something like this. It's important for a man to know his limitations, or to know his own limitations. Does Deontay Wilder know his own limitations in this situation? Tyson Fury strikes me as a man who is fully aware of his own mortality. He's a confident man, but he often talks about losing. And he's always been like this, Tyson Fury. He says, look, it's a fight. If I get sparked out in a round, I'm not good enough and I should hang up my gloves. And it's heavyweight boxing. It's just a fight. You know, I don't get caught up in all the glitz and glamour of it and making it out to be some big event. It's just two guys in a ring with a pair of boxing gloves on each, having a fight just the same as I do in the gym, just the same as I've been doing all my life. That's his psychological approach. Works very well. But he's also aware that he could get knocked out. He could get beat. He's been on the canvas a few times. He's aware of his own mortality, but he is confident in his ability at the same time. The question with Tyson Fury is he really ready to fight Deontay Wilder after the layoff, the health issues, the weight issues, etc., the mental issues? Is he really ready at this point? Is he deluding himself? Again, I think Tyson Fury is well aware that this could go badly wrong. But he believes in himself, you know? Whereas with Deontay Wilder, I don't know if he is as aware of his own mortality. And I'm talking about in a boxing sense here. I don't literally mean mortality as in he thinks he's immortal. In a boxing sense, is he aware of his own mortality? Does he really believe he can lose to Tyson Fury at all? Does he really believe Tyson Fury poses any threat? Because I'm certain that Tyson Fury knows that Deontay Wilder poses a threat, in terms of the punching power at least. What I'm trying to get at is, will Deontay Wilder get in the ring and realize that he's out of his depth, skill-wise? Is that something that's going to happen? And now I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm asking the question. Is he going to get in the ring, go in there with this bronze bomber, I'm the baddest man on the planet, I knock everything out that I touch mentality, and then after a couple rounds starts to feel embarrassed, starts to feel desperate because he's getting outboxed, he's getting clowned, and all of a sudden he realizes, you know what? I'm out of my depth. I'm not as good as I thought I was. Will that happen in this fight to Deontay Wilder? Will he have that moment where he's like, oh my God, I'm getting clowned and I thought I was way better than this. This guy is beating me easily. I don't think that will happen to Tyson Fury. I think no matter what happens to Fury in this fight, he has already entertained that scenario in his head. Tyson Fury's even talked about being dropped in this fight. Yeah. He said, if you drop me, you'll have to nail me to the canvas. So he's already entertained in his head the possibility Wilder could drop him a few times, could hurt him, and that anything could happen here. So he's got more of a realistic, pragmatic view of what's going on. Whereas Wilder seems to think, I'm just going to go in there and knock him out. You know? That's what I'm getting from Deontay Wilder. So will Wilder receive a rude awakening in this fight? And, you know, will he be shocked? Because I think Tyson Fury, as I say, is ready for any eventuality. And that, to me, is a better situation to be in psychologically. Is to go in there prepared. I remember watching the Holyfield Bowl rematch, the second fight. And it was clear that Riddick Bowe had not prepared for as tough a battle as it turned out to be. Psychologically more than anything, not just physically, but psychologically. Riddick Bowe had let all his people gas him up and, you know, made him believe that he was going to take Evander Holyfield out with ease in the rematch. And the commentary team, Jim Watt and Reg Guttridge for ITV in the UK, they said the same thing. You know, Reg and Jim were saying psychologically he went into this fight thinking that it was going to be a walk in the park. Even though the first fight was hell on earth, he was thinking the second fight's going to be a walk in the park. Holyfield is older. I already beat him up the first time around when I was a lot less experienced than him. This time around it's going to be an easier fight. And he even said that going into the fight, Riddick Bowe. So psychologically, he wasn't psyched up for the kind of battle that it turned out to be. Is Deontay Wilder psyched up for being outboxed? You know, is he ready to walk through fire to come back from being behind? Now, some people say, of course he is. He's been behind on the scorecards many times. Yes, he has been behind on the scorecards a couple of times. But those weren't fights where he was getting dominated. No, he wasn't. He wasn't getting dominated against Luis Ortiz. And when I mean dominated is not just somebody nicking a couple of rounds or, you know, winning a few rounds on the jab. That's not dominated. I'm talking about in the body language of the fighters. You can see when someone's getting dominated. You understand? Like when Billy Joe Saunders fought David Lemieux. In the body language of Lemieux, you could see he was getting dominated. Deontay Wilder's never been dominated in a fight. He's lost, been behind in fights, he's been losing. He's never been dominated. And I'm saying that against Tyson Fury, Fury has the skills to dominate Deontay Wilder, potentially. My issue with Fury all along has been whether or not he's ready physically, whether or not he's got the reflexes back and all that kind of stuff to be fighting at this level after those two rehabilitation fights against knockover jobs. That's my issue. But in terms of his actual skills, I've never doubted him. So if he's in the best of shape, I think he has the potential there with his skills to dominate Deontay Wilder. How will Wilder react to that if he's getting dominated and clowned and maybe even bullied at points? I think he'll be defiant. I think he'll try and fight fire with fire. But will that work to Tyson Fury's advantage? I don't know. It's a fascinating fight. It's a fight I'm very much looking forward to, despite the poor ticket sales and potentially poor pay-per-view sales. All of that is what it is. I always hope and wish the best for boxing, particularly heavyweight boxing, because that's where my heart is. It's where my heart has always been the most, in the heavyweight division since I was a kid. But all that aside, I'm just hoping for a good fight, a competitive fight, a dramatic fight. And both Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury have challenged the conventional wisdom or the general consensus, because the general consensus is Fury's going to win on points or Wilder's going to win by knockout. Ben Davison, Tyson Fury's trainer, said, don't underestimate Deontay Wilder's boxing skills. And Tyson Fury has been saying it could be Wilder by Wilder on points or Fury by knockout. And I actually think Fury was serious when he said that, believe it or not. He did an interview where he said, no, I actually think it's going to be Fury by knockout or Wilder on points. And I think he didn't elaborate, but I think the reason why he said that is because he is entertaining the possibility that he could get jobbed on the scorecards. That's just my opinion of why Tyson Fury said that. I could be wrong. I'm not in his head, but I've watched Tyson Fury for many years, and I think I have a decent understanding of some of his thought processes. And I think that's why he said that. He's thinking, you know what, they might job me on the cards here. I know that they've got one American judge, one British judge, and one neutral judge. But to be honest with you, it really don't matter where the judges are from. When it comes to, look, it's always best to have it that way. One from your country, one from the other guy's country, and one neutral. It's always best to have it that way. But ultimately, money talks. Money is a universal language, virtually. Unless you go into some remote areas where you've got people running around in loincloths who might not have any need for money. Money tends to be a universal language, you know. Again, I'm not going to say completely universal, but for the most part. So it don't matter where a judge is from. If he's wined and dined by the certain promoter, then I'm sure their allegiance can be bought or can be won. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this fracas that occurred at the press conference. Do you think it's legit? Do you think it's just to sell tickets? Let me know what you think about the mindset of both fighters. Let me know what you think about the ticket sales. Let me know what you think about how the fight is going to go down. Whether it's going to be a brawl, whether it's going to be a cagey affair. I personally think it's going to be entertaining. I do. I think that because both guys are so relaxed, again, I don't buy this idea that either man looks nervous. Now, it could change by the time the fight comes around, but I don't think it will. I think both guys are going to go into the ring. If anyone goes into the ring a little too nervous, I think it will be Wilder rather than Fury. Because I think there's a hell of a lot more pressure on Wilder than there is on Fury, and he might feel that by the time he walks into the ring. But certainly from what I've seen during this early part of fight week, they both look very relaxed to me. And if that continues on into the ring, I think there's a very good chance that this could turn out to be an epic heavyweight battle. Because both guys are so calm, maybe too calm. You understand? You know them ones where both guys are calm, but maybe they're a little too calm. Because when two guys go into the ring and they're confident, but they're both tense, that's when it can be really cagey and boring. But when you've got two guys who are slightly wild characters and they're both very calm and maybe even confident to the point of delusion, like potentially Wilder is, that's a recipe for something spectacular. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.